Hi, writers. How did your poems turn out yesterday? You did your cloud poem? Cool. So today we're going to do one more poem where we are writing about something and describing it like it's something else. Okay, I have a poem that's going to help us with this. Today we're going to pick a vehicle, any vehicle, and describe it as something else, just like this poet did. So this is a poem about buses by Maxine Kerman. Why don't you just close your eyes and listen and picture the bus and pay attention to what she describes it being like. Buses. Fat and cross, the city buses, sometimes late and sometimes early. Grunt like hippopotamuses in the traffic's hurly-burly. That just means the time where the traffic is like kind of noisy and it's confusing, the hurly-burly. Huffy hippos, nose to tail, lined up on the riverbanks, blink along the narrow trail, nudging one another's flanks. And the flanks are the sides. Wow, that was a lot. So, what is she thinking of buses like? Hippopotamuses, that's right, because she said that the buses make noises like hippos, right? Have you ever listened to a bus like when it puts its brake on? Sometimes after it goes like, it kind of grunts like a hippo. And hippos are kind of big and long, like a bus. And then she's saying that in the riverbanks, it sounds like the hippos go from nose to tail. So they're all lined up like this in the river, kind of like in a traffic jam. All the buses are lined up. Can you picture that in your heads? Okay. So, what's the poem about? Buses or hippos? It's about buses. She's describing it like hippos. So, it's our turn to try to do this now, too. Let's list out all the vehicles we can think of, and then we'll all pick one that we're going to write about ourselves. Okay, so a vehicle is something that goes, a way to get you from one place to another, like a bus. What else? A car, a fire engine, a bike, bicycle or bike. What other vehicles do you know? A boat, a ferry. You know, that's like a type of boat that takes people places. How about up in the sky? An airplane, a helicopter. What other things could you do back on land? Maybe a skateboard, maybe a van. Oh, like a truck, a semi-truck, maybe a police car. Okay, so you're going to need to pick one vehicle to write a poem about today. And when you do it, you're going to want to think of something else to describe it as. So, think about the sounds that it makes and what it reminds you of. I'm thinking I'm gonna do helicopter because helicopters have a lot of movements and sounds. I was gonna do trains, but I changed my mind. So let's do helicopter. Maybe I'll go back and add trains to this list too, because that could be a good one for you to write about. Okay, helicopter. So now I have to think, what am I going to compare a helicopter to? What is a helicopter like? What does it sound like? What does it move like? Huh. Well, it moves round and round. That makes me think of a fan, the blade on top of a helicopter. And helicopters are really loud and fans are loud. So maybe I'm going to compare it to a ceiling fan. All right. So this time, I don't want to start the way I did my last two poems where I said a helicopter is like a fan. You can still start that way, but I'm going to try something different. I'm going to start with the action, the movement. So I'm going to say, round and round. So, so loud. What kind of noise does a fan make? Let's see if I can spell that. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Um, and then maybe I'll say, like a ceiling fan that never stops. A ceiling fan that never stops. Maybe I can describe a helicopter to another thing. A thing that goes fast, right? Helicopters are pretty fast and then they land like on top of buildings. Oh, maybe like Spider-Man? Um, Zooming here to there, landing on top of buildings like Spider-Man. So do you see what I did here? I did a line of how it moves, a line of how it sounds, and then a line of what it's like. And then I did it again. A line of how the helicopter moves, a line of what it does, and then what it was like. Let's read my poem. Helicopter. Round and round, whoosh, 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 like a ceiling fan that never stops. Zooming here to there, landing on top of buildings like Spider-Man. All right, it's your turn to give it a try. Go back to our list here and pick the kind of vehicle that you want to describe and then think, what is it like? If you pick something in the water, maybe it's like a shark or a fish. If you pick a police car or a fire engine, maybe it's like a baby crying. It's so loud and it never stops and it's asking for help. Good luck writing your poems and try using my same format where I really, let me kind of come over here and remind you, I did three things, if you remember. I asked myself, what, how does it move? And then what does it sound like? And then what other item are you comparing it to? This is kind of the formula that helped me write this poem, and I invite you to try it the same. And I did two different things. You can try two, or you can try even more. You can do three or four. Your poem can be as long as you would like. And when you're done, don't forget to always read it over to make sure it sounds right and makes sense. Happy writing!